Urban legends have long captivated and chilled audiences around the world, weaving tales of the supernatural, the macabre, and the inexplicable. These stories, passed down through generations, serve as cautionary tales, entertainment, and cultural markers in societies spanning continents and cultures. From the shadowy corners of Europe to the bustling streets of Asia and the vast landscapes of Africa to the ancient civilizations of India and the Americas, each region boasts its own collection of spine-tingling urban legends. In this exploration, we explore the darkest recesses of folklore, uncovering some of the most bone-chilling tales from around the globe, each carrying echoes of humanity's deepest fears and enduring fascination with the unknown. Our first stop, Russia. In the dense forests of Russia, the legend of Baba Yaga prevails and is the most widely known. She is a witch-like figure who lives in a hut that stands on chicken legs. Baba Yaga is both feared and respected, known to fly in a mortar wielding a pestle. She is a complex character, sometimes helping those who seek her out, and other times consuming the unwary. Her legend highlights the fine line between fear and reverence in folklore. Legend has it that Baba Yaga chases intruders, drags them to her hut, hypnotizes them with her demonic stare, and seeks to learn their darkest fears. Once known, she uses that to scare them to death and allows for her skeletal-looking trees surrounding her hut to pull them under the ground. Once dead, she takes keepsakes and decorates her hut with them. Where did this legend originate, though? As we know, most folklore and mythical stories derive from a truth. So how did Baba Yaga come to manifest? According to worldhistory.org, her name is often understood to mean grandmother witch, though this is challenged and there is no universal agreement on the meaning of Yaga. She is first mentioned in a book on Russian grammar in 1755, but is thought to have existed in the oral tradition of Slavic folk tales much earlier. Although she is usually the villain of any piece she appears in, she can also offer assistance and is understood as more of a trickster character who encourages transformation than the stock figure of an evil witch. Our next urban legend takes us to the UK, where we find a ghostly black dog or wolf, which is said to roam the countryside, particularly in East Anglia. The black shuck, as it's called, is a creature often associated with death, and sightings are considered an omen of imminent death. Now, this sounds like the omen dog of Harry Potter, known as the Grim, also known as Sirius Black. Well, that's because J.K. Rowling took the legend of the black shuck and implemented it into her series. Doesn't sound scary when we see it as a Harry Potter character, however. The actual legend is much more eerie, so keep watching. According to dukepress.edu, the shuck first storms into East Anglian folklore, literally, at Holy Trinity Church in Blythburgh on August 4, 1577. As an almighty clap of thunder ripped across the sky, the great doors to the church were burst open by an enormous black dog, who raced up the nave past the entire congregation, slaying 2 people where they stood and causing the steeple to collapse. On the same day, at St Mary's Church in Bungay during a severe lightning storm, the same black dog entered the building and killed another 2 people by wringing their necks as they prayed. Both at Blythburgh and at Bungay, it is said that the dog left scorch marks on the doors as he departed, marks that can still be seen to this day. These terrifying events are remembered in the following verse, recorded by eminent folklorist Enid Porter. All down the church in midst of fire the hellish monster flew, and passing onward to the choir he many people slew. At the time, the dog was equated locally with the devil, but such experiences have a precedent within a far broader tradition. Britain has long been haunted by the Wild Hunt, a terrifying host of ethereal horsemen and hunting hounds that soars across the skies at night and carries off mortal souls into the other world. According to Simon Sherwood, an account of the Wild Hunt passing through the woods and deer park of Peterborough from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle in 1127 is the first in English history to mention spectral hounds in their later form as frightful black dogs with huge glowing eyes. Such accounts indicate that spectral hounds have appeared in East Anglia for almost a millennium. So, demon spectral dog or wolf? On our next stop, I take you to Asia, where the Kuchisake Onna, aka the slit-mouthed woman, is said to dwell. A malicious spirit who asks potential victims if they think she is beautiful. If they say no, she mutilates them. But what happens if you say yes? Well, she is said to brutally kill you anyway. Let's hear about this vengeful spirit's origins. The Kuchisake Onna is a terrifying figure in Japanese urban legends. Her origins are shrouded in mystery, but historians trace her back to the Edo period, a period between 1603 to 1868. During this time, a widespread belief in vengeful spirits known as yokai fueled tales of supernatural beings lurking in the woods. The Kuchisake Onna is thought to be one such yokai, a woman who met a tragic end and returned from the dead to seek revenge. This is eerily similar to the Chinese Confucian religious belief that if a wealthy Chinese family ran their female slaves to take their own lives, the vengeful spirits of the dead female slaves would come back and haunt, even take the lives of their owners, unless, if immediately after the death, they leave offerings out for the female spirits and seek forgiveness from the tortured soul. If so, they will not be harmed. Another popular urban legend widely known in Asia haunts Malaysia. Here they have Pontianak, a vengeful female spirit who died during childbirth. Often depicted as a beautiful woman who transforms into a hideous creature and preys on men, ripping them apart with her decaying claws. Some feel that these creatures are actually female vampires. According to a local, they stated that, "When I was a kid, my grandmother would warn me not to get too close to banana trees, or don't look up when you're near a banana tree." They like to hang upside down too. I've never seen one, and I haven't known anyone who's seen a Pontianak, but they're usually seen by village folks. Pontianak have long black hair, long fangs, and a white dress, and they usually haunt only men. They don't suck blood like Western vampires do, but they suck out your organs. The Pontianak, also known as Kuntilanak in Indonesia, is one of Southeast Asia's most infamous and terrifying urban legends. The origins are deeply rooted in the folklore and cultural beliefs of the Malay and Indonesian peoples, reflecting themes of maternal death, revenge, and the supernatural. From Asia, we travel to South Africa, where small, devilish creatures run amok. The Tokoloshi are small, evil creatures invoked by witch doctors to cause trouble or harm. They're said to be capable of great mischief, including making people ill or bringing death. These creatures are one of the most well-known urban legends in African folklore, particularly among the Zulu, Xhosa and Ndebele peoples of southern Africa. Its origins are deeply rooted in the region's cultural fears and societal norms. The Tokoloshe is a creature from the mythologies of the Zulu and Xhosa peoples. Traditionally, they are described as a dwarf-like water sprite, often depicted as a small, hairy humanoid with sharp features. This legend continues to be a significant part of southern African culture. It is referenced in modern media, including literature, films and television, where it maintains its role as a symbol of fear and the supernatural. The legend also persists in rural areas, where the belief in traditional folklore remains strong in Africa. In Nigeria, there is said to be a ghost who haunts dormitories, hallways and toilets in boarding schools at night, while in day schools, she haunts toilets and students who come to school too early or leave school late. She is often depicted wearing a pair of red heels or wearing a single heel. She is one of the most popular boarding school ghosts in Nigeria, Ghana and South Africa. Now, there are several stories that tell the origin of Madame Koi Koi. In Nigeria, she was depicted as a stylish teacher in a secondary school, known for her beauty and her red heels. Whenever she walked in the hallways, her shoes would make the sound koi koi, which is where the name Madame Koi Koi comes from. It was also said that she was very nasty to students and would beat them up for no reason. In the early 90s, she was fired when she slapped a female student and injured her ear. On her journey back home, she was involved in an accident and died. Not too long after, students of the secondary school said at night they would hear a koi-koi sound in the hallways of their dormitories after lights out, almost like the clicking of heels on a floor. In another tale, she was also said to be a very wicked teacher who would flog her students every chance she got. Some said she was a sadist and used being a teacher as an excuse to inflict extreme pain and torture whenever she pleased. Her students, tired of the school management's failure to reprimand her, decided to take matters into their own hands. One night, as she was leaving the school, the students cornered her, gagged her so she wouldn't scream, and began to beat her mercilessly, killing her. After realizing the fact, they threw her body over the school's back fence and ran away in hopes of making witnesses think that the damage was caused by an armed robber. Gradually, every student, except the one who hit her with the shoe, disappeared. He constantly told everyone what he and the others had done, and that he heard the sound of high heels clacking around his hostel every night, which he believed meant that she was coming for him. But no one believed him. One night he decided to go find out where the sound was coming from. However, he was beaten to death, and his body was found the morning after. The school was shut down, and all the kids were transferred to new schools. These kids later went to spread the legend to their new schools. She walks the halls of hostels at night, tormenting students and causing everyone who looks at her to disappear. Whatever the real story is, it seems Madame Koi Koi was a very strict teacher, believed in terrorizing kids, met a tragic end, and apparently is now haunting the dormitories of the school she used to teach at. From a ghostly school teacher in Africa, we travel to India, where a monkey man terrorizes residents in New Delhi, particularly in urban and densely populated areas. It is said to resemble a monkey that is about 4 feet tall, covered in black hair, has glowing red eyes, sharp claws, and a metallic helmet, with the ability to leap great distances. According to this early 2000s legend, the monkey man reportedly attacks people at night, often targeting those who are alone. Victims describe being scratched and bitten. The creature is known for its agility and strength, capable of scaling walls and rooftops with ease. This creature has been blamed for numerous attacks, and the police receive hundreds of calls from frightened residents. Some believe that the monkey man phenomenon was a case of mass hysteria, exacerbated by media reports and the spread of rumors. The fear and anxiety of an unseen threat led to widespread panic and false sightings. Some theories suggest that the legend may have been used as a cover for criminal activity, with less risk of being caught. The legend of the monkey man is a vivid example of how urban legends can emerge, spread, and impact communities. It combines elements of fear, mystery, and the supernatural, capturing the imagination and anxiety of people. Whether viewed as a case of mass hysteria, a cover for criminal activities, or a manifestation of societal fears, the monkey man remains a compelling and chilling part of India's urban folklore. Our next stop takes us to China, where hungry ghosts and the undead roam the streets. China has a rich collection history and culture. It is intertwined with an array of eerie and spine-chilling urban legends. These two tales that I am about to embark on with you have been passed down through generations and blend ancient folklore with modern-day fears, revealing the deep-seated superstitions and beliefs of Chinese society. From vengeful spirits to mysterious creatures, China's urban legends offer a haunting glimpse into the nation's collective psyche. The legend of the hungry ghosts is deeply ingrained in Chinese culture. It is believed that during the 7th month of the lunar calendar, the gates of the underworld open, and the spirits of the deceased are free to roam the earth. These hungry ghosts are said to be spirits of those who died tragically or were not given proper burials, and they seek food and vengeance. The Hungry Ghost Festival involves rituals to appease these spirits and avoid their wrath. Then there are the Jiangshi, aka the hopping vampires. When we think of vampires, we often think of the blood-sucking children of Dracula. In this case, these vampires do not suck the blood, but the chi or life force from the living. The hopping vampires are zombie-like creatures who come back from the dead, unable to move like they used to when they were alive, and so have to hop around, looking for the living. They are usually depicted with outstretched arms and stiff movements due to the rigor mortis of death. Jiangshi legends often involve them being controlled by Taoist priests, and they can be warded off by placing a piece of yellow paper inscribed with a spell on their foreheads or by using other supernatural methods. From China, we travel to America where evil spirits and demons prevail. One of the most famous American urban legends involves a demon in the story of the Demon of Brownsville Road. This legend centers around a house located on Brownsville's Road in Brentwood, a suburb of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The house at 3406 Brownsville Road was built in the early 1900s. Over the years, it gained a reputation for being haunted by a malevolent spirit, which many believed to be a demon. The legend reached a wider audience due to the experiences of the Cranmer family, who moved into the house in the 1980s. Bob Cranmer and his family reported a series of disturbing and inexplicable events that escalated over time. These included apparitions, physical attacks, unexplained noises, foul smells, a common sign of demonic presence according to paranormal law, and objects moving by unseen forces. Cranmer, a devout Christian, believed that the entity was demonic. He and his family sought help from various religious and paranormal experts. Their struggle included exorcisms, religious artifacts, prayers and fasting, which was to help in seeking divine intervention to combat the demon. After years of enduring terrifying experiences, the Cranmers eventually claimed that the house was cleansed of its demonic presence. The house's dark history, however, remains a topic of fascination and fear. The house has been subject of various paranormal investigations, with teams of ghost hunters and paranormal experts exploring the property in hopes of documenting evidence of the supernatural. The legend of the Demon of Brownsville Road has become a part of local folklore in Pittsburgh. It serves as a cautionary tale about the potential dangers of supernatural entities and the power of faith and perseverance in the face of evil. This legend stands out as a chilling example of American urban legends involving demons. It combines elements of ghost stories, religious beliefs, and the universal fear of malevolent supernatural forces. Whether viewed as a true account of demonic possession or a compelling piece of folklore, it continues to intrigue and terrify those who hear it. Urban legends tap into the universal fears and keep us curious about the unknown. The tales we have explored today blend elements of truth, myth, and cultural values, making them compelling and relatable across different societies. They serve as modern folklore, offering cautionary lessons, entertainment, a sense of shared identity, and continue to shape our history. Thank you for joining me on my Myth, Legends, and Lore series. Until next time, keep loving history and stay cautiously curious.